Welcome back, CataclysmGaming. I'm your host, Grim Reaper, and I'm bringing you beginner guides to agents across a lot of maps. It's going to show very basic details, and it's going to make you learn the agent quick, easy, and be ready to take it into ranked. Sit back, relax, be sure to like, subscribe. It means the world to us. Alright, let's get into it. Welcome back, guys. In today's videos, I'm covering Gekko on Bind. We are going to be breaking down the very basics of his whole kit, starting off with Dizzy, into Wingman, Mosh, and then Thrash. I'll make sure you are able to play this character in ranked on this map and know everything he has to offer. Let's get into it. Starting off with his Dizzy. His Dizzy is going to act as an information flash, and you're also able to retrieve it if it's thrown into a safe spot. When thrown, Dizzy does have a travel time, and it'll flash whoever's in its LOS. You can throw Dizzy standing, jumping, and or backpedaling, and also running. For example, a standing flash is only going to go so far before reaching its point, versus if you're going to run throw, goes a little bit further, able to hit more corners. Now, the key thing, what people don't really know about Dizzy, is his flash is a projectile. That means it is able to be dodged by enemies if they're moving side to side, or if it's thrown on the ground. So, to combat that, as Gekko, you want to make sure you're throwing your flash really high, because when it shoots, it's going to shoot its projectile, a splash type of flash. So when you're throwing it high, it's going to shoot down, and if anyone's in that area of effect, they will be blind. Very similar to how I talked about Sky on defense on this map, is Gekko can also throw his abilities through the teleporter, allowing your team to play off of him and also get information where you need it. The big difference though is if you want this ability back, you do have to retrieve it. Say your team's fighting for showers control again, you could throw this flash through teleporter. It's gonna fly all the way through, give you all the information, and when it lands, you are able to retrieve it with your team by just teleporting after it. Now, all of his abilities that are recoverable have a 10-second cooldown after they are retrieved. To keep that in mind, it does not limit you how many flashes you can have in a round. So usually at the start of the rounds, on attack, you want to get early information unless you're full hitting. Say we know the enemy team like to op or hold this angle. We throw this Dizzy, gets the information, but then it comes back and we're able to retrieve it safely and in cover. Now, what that flash did is it bounced off, scanning anyone who's swinging, and clearing top truck before it falls down. Now for defense, throwing recoverable flashes are really nice for also re-clearing space. If you know an enemy team have Viper and like to walk up short, standing in this corner backside A, looking straight up, and then jump throwing, it's gonna come all the way up here, scanning over the Viper wall, re-clearing your short for you. And then also, you're able to retrieve Dizzy. You did good. Don't get me wrong, Dizzy by itself is not the greatest piece of util. However, comboing it with other flashes, like a Breach Flash, KO Flash, Phoenix Flash, or so on, is going to allow it where Dizzy was going to give you the information and be harder to break while it's flying through the sky. Now on to Wingman. This little guy, call him your 6th man on your roster. Using Wingman, you can also clear out spaces, very similar to a dog, a drone, or also a Roomba. For example, if you're attacking and you want to clear out Hookah, throwing him like a Roomba is going to bounce around, clear left side, and still bounce around and clear your right. He has a wide aggro cone, so if anyone's really in its close line of sight, he's gonna just run them down. Now also with Wingman, you can also plant the spike and also defuse the spike. So instead of having one of your teammates defuse the spike, you can send Little Bro it and he'll just plant the bomb for you. However, you always want to plant the bomb when you know you have sight secured, because if you send Wingman in before securing sight, if they break him, he drops the bomb, because now the bomb is in his possession. Wingman's planting. Now after he plants the bomb, you are able to retrieve him, and then after 10 seconds, you can use him in the post plant while the bomb is still ticking. So that could be used to be able to re-clear a spot or stall an enemy team who's pushing out. Now, if you're on defense with Wingman, you can have him defuse the bomb. This is really key because if you're in a 2v1 situation or like a 1v1 situation, you can send Wingman to defuse and you could hold him while he's defusing the bomb.
My buddy's defusing.
You can also, on this map specifically, throw him through teleporter for instant reclear as well. If enemy teams are pushing towards hookah, throwing him,
Go get him, buddy.
he gives you the early information, and then you can throw Dizzy. Using these two abilities together is going to basically allow you to combo them really well, since enemies have to shoot each of these abilities to make sure they're not hit by them, allowing two different targets at different elevations harder to shoot. Third, you can also swing with all these abilities, allowing you to capitalize on them.
Get him, Wingman. Up we go.
Moving on to Mosh. Now this is a full molly that's going to stand on the ground and then explode. If enemies are stuck in it, they're going to take chip damage. If enemies are stuck to the full duration, they're guaranteed to just explode and die.
Saw you, Mosh.
Now, this molly on defense is really good to stall enemy teams from pushing in, / also stopping the spike plants. If enemy teams are pushing up A and looking to plant the bomb default, bouncing anywhere off this wall is going to block the whole area of planting. Mosh is one of the biggest type of mollies in the game. It's also going to have the same travel time as KO Grenade, Deadlock Net, and also KJ's Nano Swarms, which means you can use very similar lineups to them. Either throwing it for sight to delay a defuse,
Mosh Pit.
clearing under stuff, and also making sure the enemy team have to push out of corners.
Saw you, Mosh.
With Mosh, if you plant it on B in the default spot,
there.
coming in towards long and just lining up your Wingman
Right there.
on this box is going to give you a nice post plant molly.
Saw you, Mosh.
It's going to have a nice travel time, but usually when it lands, enemies are so scared to stand in it because it's instant death. My personal opinion with Mosh is since it is a large molly, you get a lot of value by just using it on your executes, stalling the attackers while you're on defense, and also using it as a post plant molly is going to deny the team defusing the bomb, allowing your team to just win the round. Not only does Mosh combo really well with his whole kit, say you molly,
Up, Mosh.
Dizzy, and Wingman in, this whole kit is really good by using it together, alongside every piece of util that also is in the game.
Sana.
Now, let's talk about Thrash. Thrash is Gekko's ultimate, which it has 2 charges. So unlike Wingman and Dizzy, when you have those 2 abilities that you could keep picking up the whole round and have a 10-second cooldown, Thrash can be picked up once and then reused again after 10 seconds. When using Thrash, you can use him very similar to a dog. It's going to be really fast though.
Saw you, little homie. Thrash is ready.
And it also clears a wide
Right there.
distance, and that's also without jumping. The thing about Thrash and controlling him is it's gonna hold W without you even pressing. It's always wanting to go forward.
Thrash is going again. Thrash is ready.
You can hold S to stop it, AD, but it always wants to move
As far as
forward.
she goes.
Another thing about Thrash is you can detonate it midair versus the whole charge.
Thrash is ready.
By re-clicking the jump key, you can pop it closer. So if there's enemies that are close, and instead of jumping into them,
Little homie. Thrash is ready.
you can pop it mid-air, detaining anyone who's in it. And when the enemies are detained, they're detained for about 8 seconds, so it's a free kill if you're close. Now, since Thrash is recoverable, a lot of times on attack/defense, if you need to re-clear spaces, is if you're in cover,
We're going again.
you want to
Thrash
send
is ready.
Thrash deep, get all the information, and come back.
She's all done running.
And then you'll pick them up, and then use them again. Examples on how to use Thrash properly. If you're about to execute B, using him here first,
Thrash is ready.
and then bringing them back, allows your team to get the
That's
full
far she
information of anyone who's
Right
here.
there.
And then after 10 seconds, if you have your insert, executing the site.
Thrash is going again. Thrash is ready.
You could jump out, clear everything close, back sight, and then jump into elbow. This is going to allow you to hit whoever's elbow or clear the whole site for your team to go on. I've been Grim Reaper. If you want to see more in-depth guide of Gekko, we have one on Lotus. But if you want to see stuff on bind, I got lineups I can cook up for you guys and show you a whole lot of tech. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful night, morning, day, and I'm out of here. Peace, peace.